If you need any Xbox or PlayStation codes or any cheap PC games, use the referral link in the description. It will take you over to g2a.com. They already have a discount on most of their goods, and if you use the code CHES at checkout, you can get yourself an extra 3% off as well. Hey guys, how's it going? Ches back again and welcome to episode number 12 of the Chelsea career mode here on FIFA 16. We're starting with some training, hoping to improve John Stones' marking and slide tackling. And as you can see, actually there's big improvements being made across the board, so long as they can get decent ratings in these sims. And a couple of Bs, or a B and a couple of Ds, sorry, and a C. But Loftus-Cheek and Santoso both going up overall, which is fantastic. There is some really good growth from the youngsters so far this season. I'm very pleased with how they're all coming along. We do still have a few that are or should be at Chelsea or should be loaned out from Chelsea. Players like Dom Solanke and Nathan Ake, etc. But unfortunately, they've for some reason been permanently moved on career mode, which makes no sense whatsoever. But EA, so I guess it does make sense. But we jump into the Champions League for the first game of today's episode. Obviously, we are through already to the knockout stages of the competition, so it doesn't necessarily matter what the result is here against Sevilla, although obviously to maintain form and just you want to always to do as best as you possibly can, so that is what we will aim to do. Starting a rotation side though, obviously we give some rotation players opportunities in the cup, most notably Asmir Begovic in goal. He's played all of our cup competitions so far this season, unless I've specifically or unspecifically just straight up forgotten to put him into the side, which I think I've done once or twice. But I try and remember to play Asmir Begovic in goal. Unfortunately, though, he's not able to keep a clean sheet because we've gone 1-0 down after 22 minutes. Immediately after kickoff, though, as you can see, we're working our way back up the other end. Really nice turn by Pedro there, actually. Shows great strength to shove off the tensions of the defender. Good cross by Baba. Up goes Paul Pogba, and into the back of the net goes the ball. Not quite as extravagant as his Rabona finish yesterday, but Pogba got the nod here ahead of Oscar in the Pogba versus Oscar fight that we saw yesterday, and he's on the score sheet yet again. It's my central attacking midfielders that are popping up with more goals than my strikers right now, which is a slight concern. Falcao hasn't really played much football for me at all, and perhaps I should play Falcao a little bit more just to see if he can be slightly more prolific than Loic Remy or Diego Costa, because neither of those two have really stepped up to the plate and started to bang the goals away. But that's something for perhaps the next week's set of episodes. Perhaps on Monday I will attempt to start Falcao, if I remember, to play a few games, see if we can get some goals out of him. But that was a wonderful save by Beto from distance. We're still at level terms as we head into the second half. Ava Banega, though, on the edge of the box, trying to find a teammate, gets it to Pareja. He's going to try and work it out wide. Not really too sure where he was going here. Didn't know whether he was just going to go down the line or whether he was going to pass it back inside. In the end, he just stood there and straight up crossed it. I don't know why Begovic came for that. Obviously, it was the wrong decision, though, because Grzegorz Krzyżowiak pops the ball into the back of the net with a header. Really disappointed with that. It's something that we don't often see on FIFA 16, but we saw a lot on 15, where keepers come for balls that they're just straight up not going to get to. Fortunately, goalkeepers seem to be pretty decent this year, which unfortunately for us means that we weren't able to get the ball past Beto again, and we ended up losing the game 2-1 away from home against Sevilla. But it's not to worry, it's not that important a result. But again, we're training the same players in the next week as we build up towards the Barclays Premier League game against Tottenham, which is upcoming. Obviously, Tottenham massive rivals with Chelsea. For Chelsea, Tottenham, or for me as a Chelsea fan, Tottenham are probably the team in the Barclays Premier League that we want to beat more so than anyone else. Although teams like Manchester United and Liverpool don't come far behind in that list. Arsenal as well, up there for good measure. But we're third, Tottenham are fourth right now, so victory here would obviously help cement our place in the Champions League groups. A point wouldn't be the end of the world, but 3 points would be preferable, as was probably the case with Sevilla. 3 points would be preferable, although the defeat there wouldn't be anywhere near as costly as a defeat against Tottenham here would be. But we are away from home at the Lane. Starting Diego Costa up top. Pogba, though, again gets the nod at Cam. He scored in 2 games in a row, and Oscar has scored 2 games in a row. But considering I was in a run of form with Pogba right now, I decided to continue on with him. So Matic lays it across the Fabregas here. I keep contemplating playing Oscar and Pogba in the same side, but they just haven't worked too well together with Pogba in a deeper lying role. So I am going to continue to play Pogba at Cam and Cesc Fabregas at CDM. I'm contemplating selling Cesc on to get another holding mid, a more all-round holding mid. in the January transfer window, but I'll have to gauge some feedback on that with you guys in the comment section, because obviously we've got young players like Ruben Loftus-Cheek that would love a chance in the first team rather than me just going out and buying a replacement instead. But who's the man that's in the right place at the right time to score the goal to give us a 1-0 lead? It's Paul Pogba. We've replaced Didier Drogba with Paul Pogba. A similar name and so far a similar goal ratio, to be completely honest. So Didier Pogba gives us the 1-0 lead here. Harry Kane having a great strike, but comfortable save for Thibaut Courtois. And that was the game as it stood. 1-0 was the final result. Very pleased to get all 3 points from an extremely tight game at White Hart Lane, it has to be said, and there have been a lot of those recently. Obviously you guys have seen quite a few 1-0 victories so far, but I'm quite happy with the way we're playing football right now. We're defensively solid, we're able to get the ball into the back of the net more often than we're not, so I'm pleased with the way that this series is going so far. Hopefully you guys are as well. As you can see, Oscar does get the nod for the next game at home against Bournemouth. Now, in real life, Bournemouth had an indifferent start to the Barclays Premier League, but Callum Wilson has definitely stepped up with goals, although has picked up a knee injury recently in real life. I think it was last weekend, wasn't it? He ended up having to go off the pitch with a knee injury. I haven't heard any more about that. I don't know whether he's going to be out for a while or whether it was just a precautionary substitution, but he did look like he went down in quite a lot of pain. So hopefully for Bournemouth's sake, he's not out for too long, because they've already lost Max Gradle and the young left-back they bought from Ipswich, whose name escapes me right now. Both of them have already been marked out for months with knee injuries, so they've been very, very unlucky in real life, Bournemouth. They've been very, very unlucky in this game as well. They were playing me absolutely perfectly. I was just flying at them, coming onto them. We're at home against one of the newly promoted sides. We want to throw bodies forward, but they kept catching me on the counter-attack. Callum Wilson through and hits the bar just 2 minutes after we'd started the second half. Luckily, even though Courtois stacked it over Callum Wilson on the floor, we were able to get it clear thanks to a defender. But Tomlin dinks it over to Morales here. He brings it down, turns inside, stands the ball up. They hit the bar again, this time through Lee Tomlin, who does get to the rebound as well. But Courtois on his feet this time to turn the rebound over the top of the bar. So can we have a chance at the other end to perhaps try and win it? Oscar has been in the headlines of the series recently with Pogba. This time, though, his shot is blocked. It drops to Costa. I wanted him to volley that, but he went with his head. But even if it had gone into the back of the net, wouldn't have mattered because he was offside. So a 0-0 draw is all we could muster at home against Bournemouth. And to be fair, they came with a game plan and they executed it perfectly. They wanted to catch me on the counter. It's exactly what they did. And to be fair, if they had scored one of the chances that they hit with a bar, I couldn't have denied them all 3 points as well. They were just very, very good against us. They've drawn 8 games, as you can see, this season, down in 16th place. 2 wins, 8 draws, and 5 defeats. So they're not they've not lost any more games than Leicester up in 6th. They just need to turn those draws into wins. Luckily, though, they weren't able to do that against us. We are currently 2nd in the league, although Man United can come within a point of us should they win their game in hand. City can go 4 points clear of us should they win their game in hand. So we have to hope that they play each other and they draw. That would suit me down to the ground. But that's going to bring today's episode to a close. I've just noticed Liverpool in 18th. Lol. Anyway, that's going to bring today's episode to a close. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed, of course. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check the channel page for anything we have missed. All my social media links are in the description down below. And I'll see you next time.